Well, hello strangers. Walt here from WaltInPA. Been a little while since you saw this bike. It has been, it's been a long dry spell for the YouTube channel, and I thought it was about time we try to break that up a little bit. We're coming up on 2025 very, very soon, and a lot of big changes coming. One of which is I moved. So I actually have garage space, and I don't have to ride the bike up a muddy, grassy hill anymore. So that makes things a little bit nicer. So it's been a few weeks since the Yamaha's been out. We've had a super wet and bitter cold December and November, and we had some nice weather today. I want to get the bike out, just run it through its paces just a little bit, and definitely top off the gas tank, which is running very, very low. So stick around and join me. All right, well, the MT-09 is all gassed up. I've got great weather. Ground's a little wet in spots, but you know, given the weather that we've had as of late, I am totally shocked that I can even ride today. So I will take it. So as I'm sure, man, I am really rusty. So you'll have to bear with me as I sort of wade my way back into the motovlogging realm. I routinely talk to myself, but not in a way that is conducive to motovlogging. There's usually a lot of foul language and just awkwardness through my internal conversations. So please bear with me. It's been a while. So what has happened? Where the hell have I been? It's been quite a few months since I posted anything. Well, the reason behind that is things just got pretty hectic. The company that I work for was sold, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in the previous motovlog. And everything was going fairly well for a while, pretty much unchanged from the way things had been going, up until they decided to shut down the facility where I work with very little notice. It was kind of like, hey, it is January, we will be shutting down and everyone will be out of a job in March. So let's get those orders filled and get the stuff out to meet customer needs. I was fortunate in that I kept my job. I became a remote engineer. I do engineering of like kitchen cabinets, furniture, sort of in the residential realm, residential cabinetry realm. And I was kept on, as was a couple of other people that had roles that could be done remotely. So basically they closed our factory and sort of folded it into an existing factory that they had in another state. So that was a bit of an adjustment, and then from there things just kind of got insanely hectic with my business, and I found that if I wasn't working for my day job, then I was working for my business. And then of course we got kids with activities and stuff going on, and motorcycling started to take a back seat. I went from riding multiple times a week, as frequently as I could, to getting out once a week if I was lucky. On the average week, or average time frame between rides was probably closer to 2 weeks. So that really sucked, but there wasn't a ton that I could do about it with everything that I had going on. And then here recently, just about a month ago, my family moved. We're in the same town, just a couple miles from where we lived prior, and got a much bigger place, which comes with much bigger bills and much bigger expenses, and much bigger everything. And it's been a little bit of an adjustment trying to deal with that. In fact, we're still not even unpacked. Most of the stuff's unpacked, but the garage garage that you saw at the start of this video turned into kind of like the staging area. It's where everything got stuffed, and it is a mess, and my motorcycles are kind of amongst the mess. Now, I was pretty excited about the move for a couple of reasons. One, we were in a very small Cape Cod, which we had outgrown, you know, one child ago minimum. And we were in desperate need of some more space. So finally it gives us some more breathing room that we didn't have before. We're not like cooped up anymore. We can spread out, and kids aren't always driving me up a wall because they're playing while I'm trying, you know, they're playing 6 feet from where I'm trying to work, kind of a thing. So that's been really awesome. And another thing that I was super pumped about was the fact that I have a garage now which has electric. The shed was kind of a makeshift workspace for me. I was running Mr. Heater propane heat out there to keep me warm in the winter months, and I didn't have electric. So if I was out there when it was starting to get dark, I was using the power banks with the USB ports on them. I would plug those into USB lights, or actually ring lights, either like you see people use on TikTok, where that's just an LED ring and they stick their phone in the middle. Well, I was using one of those because it throws awesome light for what it is. Plugged into my battery bank, and that became more or less my default light out in the shed for when it started to get dark. So, you know, I could sit out there, I could have a cigar, I could edit a video, it could be warm with the heater going, or if I was filming something motorcycle related with the bikes in the background, or, you know, when I was doing podcast, you know, like I had a space that I could kind of do that in without kids carrying on the background. So really pumped about having a much larger space that doesn't have heat, but I can easily throw some propane heat in there, or an electric space heater, given that it's got electric, which is a nicety that I am really excited about. And that means that I can return to doing more routine motorcycle content, and I am planning on that return happening around the first of the year. So one of the things that I used to do that I enjoyed more so than a lot of the other content, didn't necessarily reflect in the views and whatnot, but for a while I was doing these daily discussion topics or weekly discussions, or basically it was just a video where I posed the question, and the idea was to basically have a conversation starter where people could chime in the comments and talk amongst themselves. And from my perspective, it was really good at building community, and I enjoyed doing it. Views were terrible, comments were good, but it was limited to a small community. But nonetheless, it was something that I enjoyed doing. So that was kind of the very first thing that I decided to reboot. Let's go this way. So, the daily discussion has been revived in my Discord channel and on the WaltInPA Facebook page. I'm still working on porting it over to some other services, but basically the entirety of 2025 has been completed. I've got daily discussion topics scheduled every single day for 2025. It is done, and kind of one thing off my plate that I was sort of stressing about. You know, you'd think that such a simple thing as posing a question for a community discussion would be pretty easy to knock out, but when you sit down and try to do 365 of them without having too much overlap or repetition, it is considerably harder than it seems. So I'm already seeing, I started posting those earlier this month. It's mid-December. So I want to say first week of December I started posting those daily discussion topics again. And I'm already seeing some responses on Facebook and in Discord. So that's really cool. I'm optimistic about how that's going to work out. I need to start setting time aside so that I can record YouTube shorts and TikTok videos around those daily discussions. Hopefully I can get those knocked out pretty easily, since they are very simple in nature, and then get those scheduled for the year, and that will, we're not bulk record and schedule 365 videos, but just get a jump start on those, get a system in place that will sort of take some more off my plate and allow the channel to kind of work in the background while I work on more substantial things like recording motovlogs, which take considerably more time and effort to produce, record, edit, distribute, that sort of thing. So I'm pretty hopeful of things to come. I'm not really sure where the channel is going to go, but it's going to go somewhere, and I'm looking forward to giving it that little bit of a jolt that it is in dire need of. So as far as content goes, well, what are you going to see on the WaltInPA YouTube channel? And the answer is, I really don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. I've recorded variations of this video several times in the last couple of months, but when I get off the bike, I'm just not feeling it, and I'm not compelled to edit and publish it, so I don't. But I've been battling with that question for quite some time. I really don't know what sort of content I want to produce. I know that around the time that my channel sort of went dormant, I was seeing success with motorcycle-specific videos on the MT-09 SP and my Kawasaki Ninja 400. So reviews on those videos, reviews on those bikes, installing the exhaust on the Ninja, talking about service intervals on the MT-09, repair work on the MT-09, that sort of stuff all did pretty well. So I felt like I was gaining some traction on producing content that was searchable, and I know that if you listen to anyone that knows what they're doing, they will tell you to generate content that people are going to search and be able to find for success, for channel success. I was on the right path. The problem with that is I didn't find it to be very fulfilling. I was kind of doing some of it because I knew it would work, but wasn't really passionate about it. One of the things that I've always enjoyed doing are these motovlogs, which get terrible views. And one of the other things I really enjoy doing is riding out and seeing different things. So going forward, I'll still do bike-specific stuff if it tickles my fancy. But I think I want to focus on like travel style videos to some degree, where I ride out to some historical site in Pennsylvania and show it to you and show you the ride, how I got there and such, because I enjoy doing it. And these videos where I'm basically just talking your ear off. Neither one of those styles have done very well for me in the past, but I am definitely looking forward to getting back into it, and those style videos are going to be the springboard. I also want to reboot the podcast. However, I've got some ideas on what I want to do there, and I've been kicking those ideas around for at least a year, mostly just avoiding it because I haven't had the time. But I want to, I've got some ideas, and I want to try to make that go again. Just kind of to wrap it up, Daily Discussion is back on Discord and Facebook. Keep an eye out for it on other services at WaltInPA. It will be popping up eventually. I'm pretty sure I can make it work on Instagram. A little bit of hurdle there to make that work, but that's probably the next service where you'll see it. Then probably TikTok, followed by YouTube Shorts, then maybe some motovlogs and some travel style videos. Just checking out the local sites. We're not doing cross-country trips or anything like that. And maybe some off-the-bike content in my garage. Most likely it will be podcast style, talking head videos. Goofy Bastard, who I've known for several years now and really enjoy riding with, has suggested getting into some live streams. Thinks that they would do well for me. Been kicking around that idea too, so we'll see, kind of see how that plays out. So the podcast may sort of morph into or intertwine with some sort of live stream. I'm just not sure how I'm going to make that go yet. But there is my very wishy-washy plan for 2025. If you're watching this video because you've been subscribed, you see it pop up and you thought, who the hell is this guy? I haven't seen him in forever. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I think I could have went that way. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I feel like a cheap salesman when I say that, so I don't want to say it anymore. Ride safe, and I will catch you in the next one.